Hi everyone, myself Rashmi Arora, Assistant Professor Pharmacology, welcomes you all to the YouTube channel of Chameli Devi Institute of Pharmacy, Indore. Today, we will finish up the pharmacology of gonadal hormones and their inhibitors with part 4. Let's start. Earlier, we have studied the role of estrogens, progesterones, and also includes their role in oral contraception in 3 previous parts. Now the last part is including much more the antagonistic drugs. Under this, first category is selective estrogen receptor modulators, which sometimes, depending upon the location on which they are acting, they behave as anti-estrogenic, and in some cases they behave as estrogenic drugs. So the examples are Tamoxifen and Raloxifene. These are the drugs which interact with the estrogen receptors basically and have different effect on the different tissues. Sometimes they behave as antagonist and sometimes they behave as agonist. First is Tamoxifen. Like on breast, if we talk, then Tamoxifen has anti-estrogenic activity, and on endometrium wall, it has the estrogenic effect. On breast, it is effective in the treatment of breast cancer in patients with the tumor cells that are basically the estrogen receptor positive. So that is why, because of its anti-estrogenic effect, they have been categorized as a chemotherapeutic agent for the breast cancer, and they can be given after the surgery to eradicate the metastatic form. Then, however, due to its estrogenic effect, they can cause endometrial cancer. Therefore, they are not prescribed to treat the breast cancer for longer than 3 to 5 years in non-hysterectomized women. In those women where the uterus is intact or it has not been removed from the body, it is not recommended for those women. It has adverse effects like nausea and vomiting, hot flashes on the higher side, vaginal bleeding, then strong risk of endometrial cancers and thromboembolic disorders. The second drug is Raloxifene. Raloxifene is again depending upon the type of tissue on which it is acting, behaves as agonistic as well as antagonistic activity. Like on breast and endometrium, it has anti-estrogenic effect, and on bones and if we talk about the lipid metabolism profile, then they behave as estrogenic effect. Unlike tamoxifen, it does not, however, increases the risk of endometrial cancer, so it is safe in those cases, and that is why it has been approved for the use of prevention of osteoporosis in post-menopausal women. Now, the next one is estrogen antagonist. There are two drugs, clomiphene and fulvestrant. Clomiphene is ovulation inducer and it blocks the estrogen receptors in hypothalamus and anterior pituitary as well, thus results in the reduced negative feedback mechanism and increased the level of follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. Also, the ovarian follicle development and ovulation modulation takes place. Then we have the next category, progesterone antagonist. In this we have mifepristone, which is very common. It is a number compound Ru486. It is progesterone receptor as well as glucocorticoid receptor antagonist. It is basically used in medical termination of pregnancy. For that, mifepristone should be followed 48 hours later by misoprostol. The next category of inhibitors is aromatase inhibitors. As we know that aromatase is the enzyme which is responsible for the conversion or the synthesis of two basic forms of estrogen, estrone and estradiol. So it gets blocked up the synthesis of estrone and estradiol The drugs are anastrozole and letrozole. These are non-steroidal agents and competitive inhibitors. Basically, they inhibit or they block the aromatase enzyme, which is responsible for the conversion of androstenedione into estrone, as well as testosterone into estradiol. Aromatase inhibitors, as we talk, that they are the synthesis inhibitors of estrogen and all from the androgens, and this is basically used to inhibit the growth of estrogen dependent tumors. So it is aromatase inhibitors are the category which has a place in chemotherapeutic agents in the treatment of breast cancers. They are also used in postmenopausal women with advanced stage of breast cancer. Um, Unlike tamoxifen, they do not increase the risk of endometrial carcinoma and considered to be very safe as compared to tamoxifen. And they are also used in endometriosis. Now coming down to the androgens. Earlier we have talked about the gonadotrophin releasing hormones, gonadotrophin hormones, their analogs, their usage, their activity in oral contraception, and now we come down to the androgens, means the testosterone. Testosterone is present in ester form like testosterone propionate, ethanate, and cypionate. Also, the 17 alpha alkylated androgens are also there, that is methyl testosterone, floxymestrone, oxandrolone, and danazol, which is also known as danocrine. Basically, androgens are responsible for hypogonadism like activity, uh, which is used as a hormone replacement therapy, and they also are used in osteoporosis, severe burn cases, and to increase the body mass and muscle strength in male. They are used for endometriosis treatment and hereditary angioedema like conditions. Danazol is synthetic derivative of 17-ethinyl testosterone, and it has weak androgenic, progestational, and glucocorticoid activity. However, it inhibits the cytochrome P450 enzyme, which is responsible for the synthesis of gonadal hormones. It is used in endometriosis, breast diseases, and angioedema-like conditions. The adverse effects include acne, hirsutism, menstrual irregularities, hepatotoxicity, thromboembolism, and it is teratogenic to the fetus. Not safe in pregnant women. Then anabolic steroids, they have the greater anabolic androgen activity ratio. For example, oxandrolone, it has 3 is to 1 to 13 is to 1 ratio of anabolic and androgenic activity. The major adverse drug reactions include the infertility due to the suppression of follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone secretion, and they also responsible for decreased testicular size and function. Then feminization problem in men, like the development of breast, which is also known as gynecomastia, and masculization in women like hirsutism, unwanted hair growth, deepening of voice, and menstrual irregularities. Then hepatic dysfunction like jaundice and some central nervous system symptoms. Then we have the androgen receptor blockers, which include flutamide and bicalutamide. These are non-steroidal anti-androgens. They block the action of dihydrotestosterone on the testosterone receptors, and that is why they are used in cases of prostate cancers. They are combined with gonadotrophin releasing hormone analogs to treat the inoperable conditions of prostate cancers which cannot be get operated on. So the patient is put on to androgen receptor blocker, flutamide and bicalutamide. The adverse effects of these type of blockers is gynecomastia or nipple tenderness, diarrhea, hepatotoxicity, and ultimately the impotency in males. Then we have 5-alpha reductase inhibitors, In the prostate, testosterone is basically converted into dihydrotestosterone, and the responsible enzyme for this conversion is 5-alpha reductase. And this, the dihydrotestosterone, it acts on the prostate cells to stimulate the new growth, new development. So finasteride is the drug which is 5-alpha reductase inhibitors. It is a synthetic testosterone derivative, and it inhibits the synthesis of dihydrotestosterone by inhibiting this particular enzyme. Let us see in the next slide. This is how the cholesterol is responsible for the conversion of into progesterone and endostradiol, and this endostradiol gets converted into testosterone. This testosterone, with the help of 5-alpha reductase, synthesizes the dihydrotestosterone derivative, and finasteride acts on the enzyme 5-alpha reductase and thus inhibits the conversion of testosterone into its dihydrotestosterone analog. Basically, it is used in benign prostate hyperplasia and male pattern baldness. Then we have the androgen synthesis inhibitors. The drug which is categorized under this inhibitor category is ketoconazole, which is also an antifungal agent used systemically as well as topically. It inhibits the gonadal and adrenal steroid synthesis by inhibiting the cholesterol side chain cleavages, and the adverse effects includes gynecomastia and hepatotoxicity. So in the nutshell, the gonadal hormones have been categorized as chemotherapeutic agents in treatment of basically two types of cancers, breast and prostate. The examples of treating the breast cancers under gonadal hormone category is anastrozole, tamoxifen, goserline and glucocorticoids. And under the prostate cancer treatment, flutamide, bicalutamide, leuprolide and goserline are some of the examples of gonadotrophic hormone analogs. So this is all about the pharmacology of gonadal hormones and their inhibitors. I hope this gives you some knowledge and overview of these type of hormones and helps you in the future. Thank you very much.